Welcome back. Continuing with our inspirational women's series, our next guest is an activist who is fighting for freedom of expression. Over to you, Youmna.
Thank you, Linda. Yes, MARCH is a Lebanese NGO founded by Lea Baroudi. She believes that in order to attain a peaceful and prosperous Lebanon, we need to eliminate censorship. Now, the civil movement seeks to teach young people to recognize their right to freedom of expression as a cornerstone for peaceful coexistence and diversity. Founded in 2011, MARCH's mission is to educate, motivate, and empower the Lebanese society while exposing the negative effects of such censorship. Their main focus is the youth of Lebanon, who they view to be the best hope for positive change. Welcome, Lea. And thanks for being with me today. You know, MARCH, you called it MARCH because it's about marching forward, and this was founded in 2011, your NGO. What were the aims of MARCH, and how have you been able to achieve them?
Okay, the aims of MARCH are basically, as you stated them, which is, first of all, raise awareness among the society about the importance of protecting freedom of expression as a catalyst of acceptance of differences. We live in a society which is very diverse, and that's what's lovely about it. So we should accept our differences without wanting to shut each other up. So this is one of the main reasons why we decided to start MARCH. For censorship on art and culture specifically are very negative. Why? Because art and culture are supposed to bring people together, are supposed to open minds, are supposed to encourage diversity and living together. So it is very important that these tools, which are usually tools used for peace, are not censored.
We're actually showing pictures of what you created called the Museum of Censorship.
Yes.
So can you tell me a little bit about that?
Yes. We decided to start the museum because when we first heard about, I don't know if you remember the movie Green Days.
Right, the Iranian
movie.
Yes,
exactly. It was censored during the Beirut Film Festival. We were very much surprised and wanted to know why this movie was censored. And we started asking around and didn't get any answers. We even called General Security, which is the official censorship body. And General Security just simply told us bluntly, we do not disclose any information to what has been censored in Lebanon ever. And we thought this was kind of outrageous because people have a right to access to information. Transparency is one of the most important pillars of proper governance. And so we decided to do this ourselves. We said, okay, if they will not give it to us, let us archive everything that was censored in Lebanon. At least this way people will know, and when you know, you can hold people accountable. So this was the idea behind it.
You know, you talked about the negative effects of censorship on society. So what do you think these effects are?
It's mainly because if you censor things, you tell people that they have the right to shut each other up if they don't like anything that they see. If you don't like what you see, just look away. Your system of reference is not the absolute truth. You have your opinion, I have mine. We have differences of opinion in Lebanon on so many levels. We can just agree to disagree.
You say that, and I agree with what you're saying. However, how do you rectify and bring together the fact that censorship could be also related to religious causes in the country? Lebanon is still viewed somewhat as a conservative Arab country where freedom of expression, even as a journalist I know this, is very limited. So how do you bring the two together? Like, you know, the religious views and this freedom of expression where everybody's allowed to roam freely and say what they want to say or show what they want to show?
First of all, I do not agree that Lebanon can be labeled as a conservative country. Lebanon is a country where you have conservative people, where you have liberal people, where you have, difference. And this is what's always been nice about Lebanon. In the 1960s, you had ads about sex toys and events that had sexual connotations, and they were not censored in the 1960s. So
people were cooler then. I'm kidding, but you know, yeah.
People were the same. You had the conservatives and you had the liberal. What was different is that these people have decided to accept each other. And this is what's happening less and less today. And of course, religion is part of this. But I think that in Lebanon, unfortunately, religion is politics. And religious institutions use these censorship tools also to have more control over what they call their people. So I think that obviously a big problem is the fact that we live in a sectarian system. And this should also be remedied. But I think that it's already a start if people start accepting that not everything they see they will like, and what they can do is just look away.
What change do you think freedom of expression could bring to our society?
More acceptance, more open-mindedness, more learning about the other, and therefore liking the other more, because I am sure that people who don't like each other out of fear don't like each other because they don't know each other. We here in Lebanon have judgments over one another without knowing each other, and because we are afraid of the other. So I think that a lack of censorship, so knowledge about another's whatever, community, life, etc., open minds and builds bridges. And this is what we need here in Lebanon.
Do you think there ever will be a time where we will be able to reach that phase?
I certainly hope so. I certainly hope so. I think that, on the contrary, for example, if I give you the example of the Civil War, after the Civil War, talking about the Civil War was censored. In movies, in everyday lives, plays, theaters, books, everything that tackled the issue of civil war, even in a cathartic way, because art can be very cathartic in this sense, was censored. And this is why our problem has been delayed up till today. The tensions that exist today, because we didn't have any reconciliation or any proper dialogue as to why this war happened. And how can we, what can we do to prevent this from happening? So we decided to have everything as a taboo, and this is why today our problems are still the same.
You know, I want to bring it to what you were saying about Lebanon not being a conservative country. Recently, I mean last week, there was an issue that created a lot of controversy. The Jackie Shamoun, who is the Olympian skier representing Lebanon in the Sochi Olympics, she basically, it was discovered that back in 2011, she posed nude, topless really, and it created a media frenzy, an internet frenzy, because people said, well, Lebanon is perhaps a conservative country. This is not how it should be represented. And I know you, and I want to show the picture of the woman with the eye beaten here. I know you started this campaign called What Shocks You More, am I correct?
Yes.
And if we can show the picture just so we can show the people, the audience, what we're talking about this woman, what shocks you more. This is a naked woman. We've actually censored the body part, but for your viewership sensitivity. But basically you did this because of, it's something that has to do with women and domestic violence.
Yes.
And as opposed to nudity. So what shocks you more? Is it nudity?
Yes.
Or is it the fact that this woman's eye is completely bruised because it shows senses of...
Yes, we did that because a few days before the Jackie Shamoun incident, there was another very unfortunate incident with Mana Al-Asi, who was beaten to death by her husband. And reactions out of the Lebanese community and government officials was not as outraged as what happened with Jackie Shamoun. So when we realized the whole frenzy around Jackie Shamoun, whether it is to express support, because we supported her, obviously, we support her personal freedom and her right to choose, regardless of whether you agree that nudity is a good thing or not, she is free to decide what she wants to do with her own body if she's not hurting anyone. So this set aside, the whole frenzy around Jackie Shamoun, whether it was in support or out of indignation, was kind of a good thing, but also was a bit, upsetting in the sense that what about all those other women which have been victims of domestic violence, which is also a form of censorship? Abuse is a form of censorship. What about all those women who don't have a voice?
Tell me just really quickly, why is abuse a form of censorship?
Well, because it's an attempt to add personal freedoms. When a woman is silenced this way, it's censorship. Assassination is also a form of censorship. When you want to silence somebody because of anything that he does that doesn't please you, that's a form of censorship.
Yeah.
So we decided to ask people to set their priorities straight. What Jackie did is her own personal choice. Getting beaten up is not. So this was the whole point.
Right. Thank you for being with us. That was our Inspirational Women of the Week. Ms. Lea Baroudi, the founder of the NGO March, as for marching forward. Back to you, Linda.
Thank you, Youmna.